Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.
Shalom, 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 Yasharon, Yahuah. Grafted in Gentiles into the body of Hamashiach. We do this for the Most High. Yahuah has instructed me to cry loud, to spare not, to lift up my voice like a trump in Zion. To lift up my voice like a trumpet in Zion. Warn the people. Warn them that they need to understand the importance of this witness. Warn them that they understand that Yeshua is in no other name than that of Yahushua HaMashiach. Warn them that the Ruach HaKodesh is what they need. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, you called me to cry loud, to spare not, to lift up my voice like a trump in Zion. Yahuah, take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue and reign. Let your trumpet blow. Yahuah, let your word come forth in power. Yahuah, let your word be a lamp and a light. Let your word bring peace and medicine. Yahuah, let your word bring Yeshua. Hallelujah. Yahuah calls me not to cause anyone to stumble. I don't want to cause anyone to be turned out of the way, anyone to come up lame. Yahuah, I do this for the witness. I do this for the kingdom. I do this for the witness. I do this for the kingdom. I do this for the witness. I do this for the kingdom. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I do this for the kingdom. Have your way, Yahuah. Have your way, Yahuah. Have your way, Yahuah. Have your way, Yahuah. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Have your way. Hallelujah. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, we do this for the witness. We do this for the witness. We do this for Yahuah. We do this for the Most High. I do this for Yahuah Zabaoth. For he is Yahuah of the armies. I do this for Yahushua HaMashiach, my kinsman redeemer. I do this because he told me. He said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. As I have kept the Father's commandments, I do this for the Most High. Yahushua did it for the Most High. He was obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. He obeyed Yahuah. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I give you praise. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I give you praise. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I give you praise. I give you praise. Yahuah, Yahuah. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, listening to none other than Hasatan. Y'all song is entitled Most High, and I don't own the rights to this music. Listen, we going in, right? We going in, we going in, we going in, we going in. We going in, we going in, we going in, we going in, right? We doing this for the witness. Yeah, we are in the wisdom of Shlomo, right? We are in the witness. We are in the wisdom of Shlomo, right? We have received Yeshua, right? We have, who received the witness, have received his Ruach HaKodesh. We belong to Yahuah. We belong to Yahuah. We will be in his hands. And there is no one or nothing that will be able to remove us from Yahuah. Now, you could physically turn your back and go back, and then, listen, you out of his hands, but that was your choice because you went back, right? You chose to go back to a life of sin. Go back, Yahuah will honor your choice. He is not going to force his Ruach HaKodesh and the witness of Hamashiach on you. You have to be committed to this in Emunah. You have to be committed to the word of Yahuah, the Besor, the Torah of Yahuah. You have to be committed to his word. You have to be committed to it. You got to be committed to it. Shlomo said, Yahuah, give unto me now wisdom and knowledge, that I might go out and come in before this people. For who can rule this great people of thine? I used to pray that prayer. Oh man, when I was a young man, I used to pray that prayer. I used to have that prayer written up on my closet door, and I used to pray that prayer. Yahuah, give unto me now wisdom. Shlomo asked for wisdom. I want wisdom. Shlomo asked for understanding and knowledge. Yahuah, I want knowledge. I want it, Yahuah. And Yahuah gave it to me. I've seen it throughout my life. I've seen it used. Now, listen, I'm going to help you to understand something, right? This witness of Yahushua HaMashiach and the revelation of being the people takes us to a whole nother level. Right. There was stuff that, the Yahuah brought us into that he winked at us over, But once he manifested his presence and we received the revelation of being his people, and then we were called to return to him. We had to do that with Hamashiach, in faith in Hamashiach. And with that comes the cleansing. With that comes the sanctification. With that comes him giving you his Ruach HaKodesh. With that comes him sanctifying you amongst the nations. That's what we are in. We who receive this witness. So, we left off at Shlomo, right? He was in that 3rd chapter, right? And I think we left off at verse 7, right? Verse 7. Now, Shlomo, in this 3rd chapter, comes into it by presenting this statement of fact that the souls of the righteous are in the hands of Aluah. If you are righteous, if you've been made righteous through the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, if you've received the witness, the water, the blood, and the Ruach HaKodesh, then he has made you righteous. And you are in the hand of Yahuah. You're in Yahuah's hand. You are in Yahuah's hands, right? You are in his hands. And there shall no torment touch you. No torment. No end being the lake of fire. No shield. No in hell. No. Because you're in his hands. You've met the requirements, right? You've established yourself in righteousness. You understood the importance of the witness, right? You receive Yahushua HaMashiach and his blood atonement. And because you have, right, you are the righteous. And that puts you in Yahuwah's hands, right? Now, in his hands, there is a responsibility and dedication to endure, right? Because, listen, you're gonna face miseries. You're going to face sufferings. You're going to face destructions, right? You're going to be punished, right? But you know what? We don't put our faith, our confidence in this life. Yahuah said, if all we had to hope for is what we see in this life, we are of most men miserable, right? Because there's nothing in this life but the lust of flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, right? And none of these are pleasing to Yahuah, right? But if we've accepted Yahushua Hamashiach's atonement, we have been been cleansed by the water, the blood, and received the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh, then we are his righteous, right? And because we're the righteous, we expect immortality, only because he promised it to us. In his word, he declared unto us, he said, I'm going to give you the Ruach HaKodesh, the earnest. This is the earnest of your inheritance. This is the down payment of the promise. This is that, right? And what we have to understand is that, again, we're gonna be tried, right? We're gonna be tried. We had the Ruach HaKodesh, but we're gonna be tried in the furnace of affliction. We're gonna be tried. We're gonna be tested. Tribulation is gonna come, and tribulation is not our enemy. Tribulation is our ally. When you go through something, you go through with it with faith in the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. You go with it standing on the Torah and Emunah, knowing that in the end you're going to come out on top. You're going to shine. Because when his visitation comes, our visitation, we're going to shine. But you got to endure. You got to endure tribulation because it works. You got to go through the squeeze. You got to go through the press. You got to go through the pressure. You got to. You have to. You have to go through. You have to. You have to. Because only those that make it through the furnace of affliction, the fire, right, are deemed worthy. Right? Right, they're deemed worthy. They are a burnt offering to Yahuah. They're a burnt offering. Right? Right? And they're going to go to and fro. Verse 7. And in the time of their visitation, right, in Yahushua's establishment of his kingdom, the visitation is the restoration in immortality. When we receive immortality and we serve in his kingdom, right, we're going to go to and fro. We're going to run to and fro. Like a spark amongst the stubble. We're going to go to and fro. Listen, we're going to judge nations. Verse 8 says, and they shall judge nations, of that 3rd chapter of the wisdom of Shlomo. They shall judge nations, have dominion over people, those who are in the witness, those who have the Ruach of wisdom, the Ruach of knowledge, the Ruach of understanding, the Ruach of counsel, the Ruach of might, the Ruach of Yahuah, the Ruach of fear. They will be present during his visitation, right? And they're going to judge the nations. Hey, we're going to judge the nations, y'all. We're going to have dominion over the people. Because Adonai Yahushua is going to reign forever. See, we have placed our eggs in Yahushua's basket. We gone all in. Yeah, we going all in. We got a hand. We got a hand. We got a hand to play. And we going all in. All in. Right? All in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. All in the Besorah the Torah of truth. All in. We receive from Yahushua HaMashiach. We all in. Listen, we all in. Bro, we all in. We know that we have what we ask for. right? Because we in his hands, right? Now, let's go on. We only got a few more verses here, but we're going to go on in this uh, ninth verse. So again, we pick up at that ninth verse, right? And Shlomo says, they that put their emunah in Yahuah, excuse me, they will understand the truth. Listen. You can't understand the truth until you receive the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, and then receive the Ruach HaKodesh of truth that is going to lead you and guide you into all truth. You're not going to understand truth apart from the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. You're not going to understand truth apart from the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. Yahushua HaMashiach cleanses you, purges you. He takes away the filth that was in you. And then if you receive the Ruach HaKodesh, he fills you with him and the Father. Right? The Ruach HaKodesh of truth. The Ruach of wisdom and revelation concerning the witness of Yahushua. Listen. They that put their emunah in the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach shall understand the Torah of truth. They're going to understand the Besorah of truth. They are going to be able to rightly divide the word of truth because they have the Ruach of Yahuah in them. Listen, the only people that are in Yahushua's hands are those who have his Ruach. Only people that are in Yahuwah's hands are those who have his Ruach. He says, and such as be faithful in love shall abide in him. Yahushua said it himself, if you abide in me and my word abide in you, you can ask what you will and it shall be done unto you. He said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments as I have loved the Father and keep his commandments. Yahushua. And such as be faithful, who operate in emunah, right? Who demonstrate their emunah in love, right? And abide. Yahushua said, abide. He says, I'm the vine and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruits, he cuts off. Yahushua said, if you abide in me and my word abide in you. Right? Listen. You shall abide with him. Right? His love. See, and you can't. Yahushua told his disciples, he says, you got to love one another. He told his disciples this at the time in which they weren't even capable of loving one another. Because they had not received the Ruach HaKodesh and Yahushua had not been glorified. But Yahushua knew that they would receive the Ruach HaKodesh and they would love. Understand, the love of Yahuwah is because of his Ruach shed abroad in our hearts. You have to have Yahuwah's Ruach HaKodesh. In these last days, you must have the Ruach HaKodesh to water the blood. There's no getting around it. There's no escaping it. You have to have the entire witness, right? He says, for grace and mercy is to his Kodashim. Listen, Yahuwah's demonstrating his mercy to me right now. Yeah, don't hear me. He's demonstrating his grace to me right now. Right? He demonstrated his grace to me over 2,000 years ago when my ancestors were yet sinners. Yahushua Hamashiach died for us. See, this is important to me. This is why I do what I do. This is why I serve the Most High. This is why I have the Most High. This is why I'm in his hands. Right? He says, and haveth care for his elect. His elect. His elect. Let's look at that word elect. Let's pull up that word elect in the Hebrew. H972.
Strong's H972. Bahir.
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 Bahir. It means chosen. Right? Choice ones. Chosen ones and elect ones. And you know, you got brews that will say, yeah, see that's proof that we the people. Yeah. We are his elect, Yaakov, his firstborn. Right? Right? But his firstborn in Yahushua HaMashiach. And see, this witness, this covenant, is extends to the other nation, to those whom he has chosen. Because Yahushua has those that he has chosen from the other nations. Not everybody of the Gentiles is going to be chosen. Just like everybody of the nation ain't going to be chosen. Listen, you got people that are in the nation that don't believe in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. You have people that are in the nation that, believe in Yahushua Mashiach, but don't receive the witness of the Ruach HaKodesh. You got people that aren't chosen. See, it's something when Yahuah has elected in Hamashiach to choose you for this witness. You have to understand that's a privileged place. That's a privileged place. To endure the furnace is a privileged place. I'm glad that he allowed me to endure the furnace. That's a privileged place. His chosen, his elect, right? So, we understand that his elect are his chosen. Now, in Hamashiach's witness, he's chosen Yahudim, Yasharal, and he's chosen Gentiles. It's his choice. Can do what he want to do. He's not a man that he should lie, a son of man that he's really. You don't owe you an excuse. You don't owe you a reason. You don't owe anybody a reason. He can do whatever he wants to do. Hence, his calling to the Gentiles, the other nations. Listen, but the ungodly, there's only two people. There's only two people groups in the eyes of Yahuah. There's the godly and the ungodly. There's only two people groups, the godly and the ungodly. Those who receive the witness and those who don't receive the witness. Listen, it ain't got nothing to do with color. We have been marginalized. Yes. Yes, our identity and our culture has been stolen from us. Yes. We are the people of Yasharal and Yahudah. Yes. And we are in origin a melanated people. Yes. Absolute truth. Right? That's the absolute truth. But listen, there's only two kinds of people. There's the godly and the ungodly. And the godly, make no mistake about it, are the righteous, and the righteous are in his hands. And Yahuah will not discriminate in reference to who or what color or what pigment tone. He do not care. He chose Yasharal. He chose Yaakov from amongst the nations to honor his Shabbat. We understand this. We know that he chose Yaakov to honor his Shabbat and to be the bearer of his Torah. But you know our ancestors failed miserably. They failed miserably, right? And needed constant restoration, right? You had priests that was wicked, right? They just didn't do right. You had kings that were wicked. They did not meditate in the Torah day and night. You had them wicked, right? Yahuah has a, excuse me, Yahuah has, right, made a covenant with our fathers, right? Yahuah has sworn and will not repent, right? That covenant stands forever because it's a Torah. It's a spoken word of Yahuah. It's proclamation. Hear ye, hear ye. I have chosen Yaakov and I've written his name in the Shamayim. Listen, can't get around that, right? Now, as a people, we, our ancestors failed miserably. Hence the reason why we are in the lands of our captivity. Yeah, we've been redeemed by the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. We have been established in his witness. We are no longer slaves to sin, and we're no longer under the curse or the bondages of the curse. We who are in this witness, right? We don't worry about that. Anything we get that comes as a result of this witness afterwards is the trying of our faith. It is the tribulations of what it's going to take to cause us to continue to endure, right? But the fact is, there's only two kind of people, the godly and the ungodly, in Yahuwah's eyes. And Yahuah, again, does not determine godliness based on skin color. He does not base godliness on skin color. He bases it on those who have received the witness, the water, the blood, and the Ruach HaKodesh. Those who have been cleansed and those who have his witness on the inside. He says, but the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations. They're going to be punished according to their own imagination. That's why, listen. We got next. Listen, y'all, we got next. Listen, and the time of their visitation, they shall shine. We got next. Yasharal and Yahudah, grafted in, who have received the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. We've got next. These idiots have been destroying this world, ravishing this country, exploiting Yahuwah's resources, and for what? We got next. Yes, because Yahushua's kingdom, his order, his way of doing things is a righteous order and a righteous kingdom. You got to be godly to do this. You got to be godly to be a part of his kingdom, right? So, he says, but the ungodly shall be punished according to their imagination. The ungodly devise mischief. They're mischievous on their beds. They lay down and they plant. They lay down and they plan, devise schemes and treacheries. Right? And their imaginations run wild, right? And you're going to be punished for every wicked, evil, intention of your imagination. You'll be judged. You're going to be punished. Which have neglected the righteous and forsaken Adonai Yahushua. You who have neglected to receive the witness. You who have neglected to receive the witness, to be established in righteousness, in the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. You're going to be punished. You who have neglected Yahuwah's righteous people. You who have misused them. You who have did them wrong. You who have murdered them, raped them. You who have exploited the poor, the widow and the orphans. You know, you who have forsaken Adonai Yahushua. He said, listen. For whoso despises wisdom and nurtures is miserable. If you despise the Ruach of Yahuwah's wisdom, right? You despise Yahuwah's Ruach HaKodesh of truth that reveals the Torah of truth, right? You despise it. You miserable. Shaul said, if all we have is what we see of the wisdom of men's hands, of what they do, what they say, how they act, if all we have in this earth is what we see, what we behold, right? We're miserable. The ungodly are miserable. Listen, ain't nothing miserable about me. Nothing. There's nothing miserable about me. There is absolutely nothing. There's nothing miserable, about me. Because I have a hope. Because I have a reward. Because I have precious promises. Because I have a sure word. Because everything Yahuwah speaks is a sure word. Everything Yahushua speaks is a sure word. It comes with guarantees. Right? Yahushua's word. Right? Yahushua's word is that warranty that covers us. Warranties our parts, the Ruach HaKodesh of truth. It warranties us. We can expect new parts. Yeah, because its warranty covers everything except normal wear and tear. Because it's the point when the man wants to die. Yeah, your tire gonna start to wear out. Yeah, we don't cover that. The vehicle gonna need an oil change. You know, we don't cover that. None of the warranty. See, because you have to assume some responsibility. got to, take steps, right? Take steps of practical maintenance. You don't wait till your tires go bald and you start to see the fabric, right? Because that's going to lead to a blowout. And you don't want to blow out your tire because there's a whole bunch of other ramifications attached to that, right? So you got to manage the things that you're responsible for the upkeep of the vehicle and of the warranty. If you blow an engine, right, you ain't put no oil in it. You ain't check the oil. Well, they can void and they can almost void the warranty on that engine because you didn't check your oil levels. Listen. For whosoever despises wisdom, who despises the Ruach HaKodesh of wisdom, and the Ruach HaKodesh of discipline, nurture, because discipline is nurture, right? He's miserable. And their hope is vain. They don't, it's vanity. Their hope is in things that are vanity, vain. Their labor unfruitful, and their works unprofitable, right? So Shlomo says, right, they're vain, right? They're vain. So he says this in Ecclesiastics, right? He says this. That's not. He says in Ecclesiastics, right? My sin is altered, right? He's thinking differently now, right? The words of the preacher, right? The word preacher in the Greek,
69,
I mean in Hebrew,
Koheleth.
It is the collector of sentences, preacher, public speaker, speaker in an assembly. Right? Now, when you hear Shlomo here, he says, the word of the preacher, the son of King Dawood in Jerusalem, vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanities of vanities, all vanity, right? Now he says, what profit hath a man of all his labors which he hath taken under the sun, right? Generation passes away and another generation has come, but the earth abideth forever, right? The sun also rises, the sun goes down and hastens to the place where it rose, right? The wind goes towards the south and turns about to the north, whirls about continually, and the wind returneth according to his circuits, right? Well, that's the natural order that Yahuah has established, right? All the rivers run into the sea, and the sea is not full. Well, okay, right? Unto the place from whence the rivers comes, thither they return again. Okay, humidity, creates rain, creates, clouds, creates rainstorms, creates filling rivers. Okay, right? He says, all things are full of labor. A man cannot utter. The eyes are not satisfied with seeing, nor with the ears with hearing. What man? The man who has fixed his heart in vanity. The ungodly man. The preacher, the ungodly man. He says, listen. The things that have been, it which shall be, and that which is done, that which shall be done. And no new things under the sun, right? Is there things whereof it may be said, see this new? I haven't been already of old times, which was before, right? Shalom. There's no remembrance of former, neither shall there be any remembrance of that which are to come. He says, listen, I, the preacher, the king over Yasharal in Jerusalem, right? I gave my heart to seek and to search out by wisdom concerning all that are done in the heavens, under the heavens, that sore travail have the Aluah given the sons of men to be exercised there. See, now. Shlomo has moved out of the wisdom of you. Right? He's moved away from the wisdom of you. He said, this sore travail have the Aluah given the sons of men. What travail? Right? He says, I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, vanity and vexation of the Ruach. There's truth to that. Right? There's truth to that. Right? And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. See? He gave himself to know wisdom and knowledge, but then he gave himself to know madness and folly. And see, the Ruach of Yahuah won't dwell there. So Shlomo right now is in this place and time, Ecclesiastics, right? He has given himself to know wisdom and knowledge. That's the Ruach of Yahuah. He was on point. He was the king meditating on the Torah day and night. Yeah, because that's what he was supposed to do. Right? Yahuah opened up his understanding, gave him supernatural perspective, gave him the Aluah kind of wisdom, the Aluah kind of knowledge. But then he decided to know madness and folly. Right? Right? He decided to know madness and folly. Now, what is madness? Hebrew.
Strong's H, 1947. Holy la.
Holy la.
Holy la.
Holy la. That word they say is madness. Let's look at the act participle, the root word. Right? It's halal.
Strong's H, 1984. Halal.
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 Halal. Right? Now, Hallel is, right, to boast, to praise, to be boastful, to be a boaster, right? Right? Now, again, it speaks of being praiseworthy because you halal Aluah, right? Because you're going to praise Yahuah, right? Right? You going to exalt Yahuah. But in this respect, it's different, right? So, he gave himself to know madness. Wait a minute, that's not right. What word did I look up? That's not it. I'm sorry. Where is that word? Where is that? Madness. Madness. Moral evil. Moral evil. I gave myself to know moral evil. I began to marry strange wives, make alliances with kings, bringing their gods into the temple of Yahuah, bringing their gods throughout the territory of Jerusalem, and allowing groves to be put up in the land of Yahuah. Right? Right? Folly. What's folly? Folly. The Hebrew word for folly is foolishness.
Strong's H55.
The fool
First reading.
has said in his heart, there's no Aluah.
Sekluth.
Sekluth. Sekluth is for fool.
Second reading. Sekluth.
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 Right? It is foolishness. See, because the fool has said in his heart, there is no Aluah. The fool has said in his heart, vanity is vanity, saith the preacher. All is vanity. Because the Ruach of wisdom departed Shlomo, because he entertained madness and folly. He says, he said that crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. Right? Right? Shlomo. Right? I commune with my heart, saying, lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart, and great experience of wisdom and knowledge. It's pride. Right? Pride goes for destruction. Holy Spirit before a fall. He says, and my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this is also the vexing of the spirit. Right, now listen, you got evil ruachs now, bro. Evil ruachs will vex you. Because Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuwah's wisdom and knowledge ain't there. Oh no, it flees. See, and this is the wisdom of Shlomo, right? Because Shlomo says it here, right? In the previous chapters, he says, into the malicious soul, chapter 1 of the Wisdom of Solomon, verse 4, shall not enter for into a malicious, no, let's go up one. The forward thoughts separate from Aluah, and his power, his Ruach HaKodesh, when it is tried, reproveth the wise, right? It's going to reprove the wise, right? It's going to prune the wise. It's going to strengthen and establish the wise, right? He says, for into a malicious soul, wisdom shall not enter, right? Won't enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. the body that has given itself to know madness and folly. Shlomo gave himself to know madness and folly. Right? It says, for the Ruach HaKodesh of discipline will flee and remove from the thoughts that are without understanding and will not abide, remain, continue, dwell when unrighteousness comes in. When you give yourself to know madness and when you give yourself to know foolishness, folly. Right? Let's get back to what we were in chapter 3. He says, for whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, right? And their hope is vain, and their labor unfruitful. Your labor is unfruitful. It's vanity. Shlomo says it's vanity. Shlomo says, I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. And I perceive this is also vexation of Ruach. He said, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increases sorrows. Now, listen. No. Right? The wisdom of Yahuah does not bring grief or sorrow. Shlomo's understanding of wisdom and knowledge is a direct result now of the influence of madness and folly. Because, if Yahuah gives you his Ruach of wisdom, the Ruach of wisdom is what it is, the Ruach of Yahuah of wisdom. There's no grief with wisdom. Right? There's no grief with knowledge. And he that increases knowledge increases sorrows. No. You understand by what Yahuah says. Now, if you suggesting that, because you know and understand things from the wisdom and knowledge perspective of Yahuah, you become grieved. Yeah, okay. But Shlomo gave himself to no madness and folly. And that's his vexation of Ruach. And a vexed Ruach would have this conclusion. Man, much wisdom, much grief. He that increases knowledge increases sorrows. Hey, give me that new wife over there. What number is that? 150? Who she serve? What God? Yeah, throw a couple of her idols in the temple of Yahuah too. It's vanity, but oh well. She fine. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear the Yahuah. He says, listen. The wives are foolish and the children wicked. Right? The wives are foolish and the children are wicked. Right? The ungodly wives are foolish. And their children are going to perpetuate their wickedness. Right? That's what they're going to do. They're going to do what their parents did. Right? Their offspring is cursed. Yeah. Right? Wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled. Yeah, you may not have kids. You may be barren, but listen, you are righteous in the hand of Yahuah, and you are more blessed than the woman who is cursed. Under the curse, right? You're under the curse, right? Yahushua Mashiach has redeemed you from the curse, and you may be barren, but you've redeemed from the curse. You Let's look at Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Let's start at the 29th verse. He says, no, let's start at the 30th verse. Thou shalt marry a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt dwell therein. Now, this is curses, right? Thou shalt plant the vineyard, and shall not gather the grapes thereof. You're doing all this labor, planting sugar cane, planting wine vineyards, all of this stuff, right? He said, it goes on to say the oxen. Let's go to that verse 32nd. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, because of your folly, because of your foolishness, because your failure to honor Yahuah's Torah, for your failure not to receive Yahushua's witness. Your sons and your daughters shall be given to another people. This is a curse now. This is the curse. It's given to another people. And thy eyes shall look and fail for them all the day long, and no might in thine hands to do anything about it. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it. Listen. The offspring of the ungodly is cursed. Wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which have not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of her soul. Yeah, you will produce fruit. You gonna have a bounty. Listen, it pays to serve you. Pays dividends. Listen, I can't do this if I could. I can't do this without Yahuah. I can't do this. I can't do this. I couldn't do this. I understand how intrinsically important it is to have Yahuah's witness, to be in his hands, so that he can move and open doors. And even though I go through tribulation, I experience squeezing and pressure, he's still with me. He's giving me what I need to get the job done. He's giving me a warranty, and all he expects me to do is the maintenance. The general maintenance. Just maintain this witness. That's all I got to do is maintain this witness. I got an extended warranty. All I got to do is kick the tires, make sure there's air in them. You know, I may every 5,000-10,000 miles need to rotate the tires so that they wear evenly. You know, I got to change the oil every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. Now you can go about 5,000 miles in some of these cars, but you got to change the oil. And you got to tune it up. You got to change the end. You got to change the spark plugs. Got to do those things, right? That's just maintenance. Yeah, Yahuah ain't gonna do that for you. No. The warranty ain't going to cover that. She shall be blessed in her and the fruits of her visitation, and she shall have fruit in the visitation of her soul. Blessed is the eunuch, which with his hands hath wrought no iniquity, nor imagine wicked things against Aluah. For unto him shall be given the special gift of Emunah, an inheritance in the temple of Yahuah, more acceptable to his mind. Eunuchs don't want a woman, don't want to be defiled. Don't want anything but Yahuah. That's all he do. That's all he wants. That's his motivation, right? He's going to inherit the temple at the visitation. He's going to inherit the responsibility of performing service in the temple of Yahuah. Right? He has an inheritance in the temple of Adonai, more acceptable to his mind. Yeah, he belongs in the temple of Yahuah because that's where his mind is. Let this mind that was in Hamashiach be in you. He had the Torah, the Besorah on his mind. He was dedicated to that. He didn't want anything to do with any fleshly appetites, desires. He says, for glorious is the fruit of good labor. For glorious is the fruit of good labors. And the root of wisdom shall never fail away, all the way. I thank Yahuah for the Ruach HaKodesh of wisdom. Right? I thank him that at an early age I had the foresight to, in the Ruach HaKodesh, understand how important it was to ask for it. In Emunah, and have Yahuah give it. Right? Wisdom. Right? Right? For glorious is the fruit of good labor. My labor is good. I move by Yahuah's Ruach HaKodesh. I trust and the Ruach HaKodesh guidance, the Ruach HaKodesh of truth. I'm established in the water, the blood, and the Ruach HaKodesh. The root of wisdom in me shall never fall away. Because I ain't turning away. I ain't going another way. I ain't doing it another way. He said, as for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and their seed and the seed of the unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. The ungodly seed is going to be rooted out. Listen. You know, the mortality rate, right? Not the mortality rate. It's the mortality rate. The maternity rate of Europeans is down significantly. Significantly, right? The mortality rate. For the children of the adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection. And the seed of the unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. This bed is filled with fornication, unrighteousness, adultery, covetousness, homosexuality, lesbianism, porneia. He says, for though they live long, yet shall they be nothing regarded. You live long, but it ain't going to regard you before you. It's nothing. And their last age shall be without honor. And the last age that they live, it shall be without honor. Or if they die quickly, have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial before the judgment seat. Because you dead in your sins. God stand before you at your trial. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation. Listen. The unrighteous generation is horrible. No peace, no Shiloh, no Shabbat. Horrible. Weeping and gnashing of teeth, kind of horrible. Outer darkness, kind of horrible. Seeing this be the case, men and women, right? How ought ye be? Establish yourself in this witness. The water, the blood, the Ruach HaKodesh. Be committed to endure this race until the end. Because you already know, right? You already know you're going to be greatly rewarded. You're going to shine during the visitation. When Yahuah comes and establishes his kingdom in the Eretz, you are going to shine. You are going to serve as judges over the nations. You're going to have dominion over the people. Listen, you got to be faithful. Got to be faithful, trusting in you His grace and mercy. Because in this, you will be established until the end. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, that's the wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 again. Man, I love the wisdom of Solomon. The wisdom of Solomon reveals Yahuah's Ruach HaKodesh. His Ruach HaKodesh. And how you are with it and how you are without it. Yahuah, I give you praise for the word that you have given me to give to them. I pray that they would receive it in Emunah and that they would keep it, that they would live according to it, that they would obey it, that they would meditate on it, that they would walk in it. Yahuah, your word is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our pathway. The entrance of your word gives light, gives understanding to the simple. A young man, a young woman's ways are cleansed by taking heed to your word. Yahuah, I pray that they would do all of this. Let the words of my mouth and meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuah, my strength and my redeemer. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, that's all we got. Man of Yah called to greatness. Woman of Yahuah called to greatness. Women of Yahuah, beautifully and wonderfully made. Listen, Yahuah favors you. Understand your place. And I'm not talking about your place necessarily in your relationship with your husband. I'm talking about your place in this witness, right? Because in this witness, you are called to serve Yahuah, right? Enduring all that what Yahuah brings your way, trusting him and depending on him because he is a deliverer. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, listen, that's all I got. Walk in the Ruach HaKodesh. Be led by the Ruach HaKodesh. Listen, it's available to all those who ask. And with that I say, shalom, shalom, shalom. Be blessed.
Torah Guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.